Let's wrap up with this, Lewis. Paramount Plus has announced they have nearly 40 million subscribers. Now, the reason that this was surprising to me is because I didn't even know that. I didn't know how long Paramount Plus has been around, and I didn't know anyone was using it. It's like kind of like this obscure little service, and the only reason I signed up for it is because they have been having tons of free trials, and unlike other services, even Apple, they just keep extending the trial. So you'll use the service. They had a 3-month free trial, which I signed up for, and then I was like, yeah, there's not really a whole lot here that would keep me here, and so I canceled it. And they said, oh wait, if you want, we'll give you another 2 months for $3. And I was like, oh shoot, like it's definitely worth $3. And then I canceled that, and they said, oh, do you want another month for free? It's like they just keep giving it to me for free.
They don't want you to go, yeah.
Yeah, and when they say that they have they've added 6.8 million subscribers last quarter, I kind of wonder how many of these people are actually paying.
Active?
Yeah, or actually paying them for the service, because you're a part of the service, right? Because you've signed up, you've given them your credit card number, but you're not actually paying for anything yet. But I thought this was interesting because we have all of these streaming services now. We have obviously Netflix, we have Apple TV Plus, now we have Paramount Plus, and what I noticed is Paramount Plus pulled all of their content from all the other services. I used to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, which is one of the best shows of all time, and it was on Netflix forever, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And they moved all of the Star Trek episodes to Paramount Plus. So now if you want to watch Star Trek, you either have to buy it or you have to subscribe to Paramount Plus. They have the new Star Trek series. They actually have, the surprising thing is the Paramount Plus app sucks. It needs to be completely rewritten. Not a great experience at all. But they have a huge library. I had no idea. They've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of movies and shows. I mean, you can just sit there and scroll through. My wife hates this. Whenever I go to a new streaming service, I will literally just sit there for like 30 minutes and scroll through their entire library just to see what they have. And Paramount has a lot of stuff. They also have a ton of older movies, like tons of Westerns and stuff. So they have a pretty big library.
Yeah, time, yeah.
And they've got the new Halo series. They've got the new Picard series, which Lewis was saying was not great enough to keep him there. They've got the Star Trek Discovery, and as a huge Star Trek fan, I'm like, that's kind of appealing, like all the new Star Trek stuff, even though I haven't watched it because I heard it was awful. But it's interesting because we have all of these subscriptions now, right? And I know I was mentioning this to you earlier, Adam. It's like, what do you think about all this? We have Netflix now. If you want Netflix content, you got to go to Netflix. If you want AT&T content, or Warner Brothers, I should say, you have to go to HBO. Now, you want to watch Star Trek? Better go get a Paramount Plus subscription. And we have all these like individual silos now where they're all pulling their content off of all the other platforms, and now you have to purchase their platform if you want to watch it. Like, are you subscribed to any of these services? What do you think about all this?
Well, I'm subscribed to Apple Plus, right? But I don't use it for their exclusive content. I'm not into the shows. It's just they're not my personal. They're not pulling me in yet. But I purchase movies on Apple TV all the time, on my Apple subscription all the time. And I have Disney Plus for my kids. And I have Netflix. And I will occasionally subscribe to a random app temporarily if there's a movie that I can only access in a certain place. But how do I feel about that? At the beginning, I'm sitting there going, oh boy, here it comes. You know, it's now they're inflating the market with all of these different apps. There's pros and cons. I think that, it could get a little bit out of hand. They might have, it's just like you end up paying for 20 different services. But different studios kind of have their own brand of films very often. And I actually don't mind the fact that I know if my kids go on Disney Plus, they're getting access to this certain type of content that they don't have to. It's already curated for them to a certain degree, and there's already a certain set quality to it. And Paramount have a selection of films that might cater to a certain demographic, a certain age group. In which case, there's a much higher likelihood that demographic is going to appreciate that content, right? And they don't have to do the whole Netflix thing where you sit there, like you said, and scroll for half an hour looking to see finally find something that I guess we can watch that. Movie night on Netflix with every Friday night, my girlfriend makes her homemade pizza, which is amazing. Everybody loves Fridays for that. And and then one of the kids gets to choose the movie for that night. And if it's Netflix, we're done dinner before they pick a movie.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Same here.
And this happens every week, right?
Yeah.
Nobody can settle on a bloody movie to watch, and that's because it's kind of it's kind of a potpourri of everything, which makes it a little bit watered down and hard to find anything good. And that's been the trend of Netflix ever since its inception. It's just that you can spend forever looking for something to watch. Where maybe with the Paramount app, maybe it's a little bit more exclusive, a little bit more curated. So I don't know.
Well, it depends on what you're into. Like you say, I mean, like if you like Star Trek stuff. So I love pretty much all things Star Trek, and Next Generation is like some of the most beloved content that's out there to me. Although, as I was mentioning before, Apple just had a sale on the entire series of Next Generation, so I got it for $30, which is crazy because I don't know if you all have tried to buy Next Generation, like the entire series. You could get it on a DVD set. It's like $150. It's really expensive, right? So being able to watch it, especially because it was pulled from Netflix, and so now people are like, oh, they don't think it exists anymore, but they don't know that it's sitting on Paramount Plus. So I've been enjoying Paramount Plus for that reason. Funny enough, they have a lot of older content, just like Disney Plus. Like a lot of the stuff that I end up watching is like older stuff, even though they have some new shows, like all the Marvel stuff, obviously, and stuff that I like too. But like the value of the Disney catalog is like their massive back library, and that's one of the things I didn't realize about Paramount Plus that they have as well. Is they have tons and tons and tons of movies that I remember watching years ago. Like I really wanted to watch Interstellar, right? Yeah. And I couldn't find it anywhere. Paramount Plus has it. It must be a Paramount movie. I didn't realize that, right? And it's funny that you should talk about Netflix, about like the infinite scroll, because that's exactly what happens to me. I feel like every time I go to watch something on Netflix, I spend my entire dinner just scrolling through, waiting to find something, and then I end up just leaving Netflix and going to watch HBO Max or something, which I think might be my favorite streaming service right now. Lewis, favorite streaming service right now?
I can pick one, man. Watch everything all the time.
Yeah. Are you watching Apple TV Plus the most now?
I wouldn't say the most, but they've definitely got some shows I'm watching these days. I mean, just started watching Shining Girls, which is their latest, hit. I mean, this is one of the things that is kind of interesting about the whole Apple TV Plus thing. They've actually, in the past, 6 months or whatever, they've actually had some hits.
Yeah.
They're showing up in the top 10 of all things streaming online. A show that just finished called Severance, which I'm just waiting for a good time to watch that. I mean, I've heard great things about that. I can't wait to watch it. That's been in the top 10 for the past month or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 2 months. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure of the time frame, but it's weird because, I mean, Apple TV Plus started out, it was just kind of a joke, right? It's free. Here's all this, weird mishmash of stuff. But what they've slowly been building out all these categories of entertainment. And I mean, it's still nowhere near the back catalog of like a TV studio like CBS that is on Paramount or whatever, ABC on Disney. But, they just keep adding. They just keep adding. And the thing that's cool about it now is the thing that I really dislike the most about Apple TV Plus is the way they drip stuff out like old school TV. One episode a week. That drives me batty.
Got to keep you there.
I mean, I understand why they do it, but I just don't like it. It's very hard. It's so easy to get sidetracked, right? Like in the week that goes by, it's like, some other series that you start watching, and then you watch all that. And next thing you know, you can't even remember what happened, which is a problem of mine anyway. But they've got some good stuff. And by the way, you mentioned kids programming. They got a lot of kids programming.
Really?
They got
I've never even checked.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of it, and they've got a bunch of nature documentaries and stuff. There's one show that I've mentioned to on the show before. It's called Tiny World. It's unbelievably great. Mm-hmm. That is like the most amazing stuff I've seen. And I mean, all those. Anytime I watch a nature documentary, I'm kind of this is awesome. But
me too. I'm addicted.
Amazing. They got a new one coming out pretty soon called Prehistoric Planet that is about dinosaurs and supposedly like people in watching the trailers for Cult of Mac and writing about them say, wow, this is really awesome and really Yeah, it does look pretty cool. Yeah, they're saying, it blows away like Jurassic Park's sort of
I said the
dinosaurs.
graphics look kind of. I don't know if I saw the right trailer, but the graphics looked very dated to me.
Yeah,
I don't know if I saw the right thing. The graphics look kind of like old school dinosaur graphics. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I saw one that had dinosaurs with like.
Example of it.
Maybe ILM was busy for that during that season. Yeah.
Odd, but I don't know. I think that thing comes out like next month or something. But it's they're making all they're trying to make a big splash with it. They're having like a dinosaur week or something. They're going to release it. I think it's the first week of June. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you've already got Apple TV Plus subscription, check it out. I don't know. I mean, I don't watch the kids stuff, but I know they have a lot of kids shows, and they've got all the Peanut specials and new Peanut specials and
Peanuts,
Jim Henson stuff. I mean,
yeah, I love.
I don't know. The Peanut stuff might be too.
I just feel like it's just so funny. It's like Tim Cook added in the shows that he liked when he was a kid. Because like, who watches Peanuts? Like that show used to be really popular, but kids don't watch Peanuts these days.
It's way too slow, right? Like
I don't
Charlie
know.
Brown,
I don't know. I mean,
way
it's
too slow
literally been so long since. I mean, even Peanuts was even kind of old school when I was a kid, right? And they're still trying to push it. But the one thing I want,
coming out with new ones too.
They're coming out with new episodes of Peanuts.
Oh yeah,
no. But I don't. I've got a cartoon background. Don't even talk about new versions of old shows, like the new Looney Tunes. I watch that stuff and I feel violent. I get violently angry. I go, this is such garbage, right? The new stuff is usually horrible. I prefer the old stuff 1,000%.
That's how I feel about Star Trek, honestly. It's like, we could do a whole episode just on that. Yeah, it's like, it's very difficult. You just got the ball rolling. Sorry. It's very difficult to remake the magic. And when you have something that's truly special, the cast is right, the crew is right, the writers are good, and then you try to recreate that, it's very hard to do. So the one thing I wanted to mention before we wrap up here, because we've been going for 6.5 hours at this point, is I mentioned ILM, Industrial Light and Magic. I mean, talk about a cool business name, man. Like, that's like one of the coolest ever. And
based in Montreal, by the way, where I am.
What's that? Oh, they are?
They're based in my hometown from Montreal.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that they were based in San Francisco.
They are now.
That's Lucasfilm, I guess.
Originated here in Montreal.
I did not know that. Wow. I mean, when you look at how prevalent they are even now across all of cinema and shows and stuff, they're so ubiquitous, and their work is so much better than I feel like anyone else's. I saw this documentary on Star Trek, I think 5, The Final Frontier, and the guy was talking about the special effects and how they weren't great. And he was like, the reason they weren't as great as they were in previous Star Treks is because ILM was working on a different project, so they couldn't get them to work on this specific movie. And it shows because the special effects aren't as good. And when you see like CGI and stuff with ILM quality, and then you see other CGI, you really notice a difference. And there's been a leap in advancement with like CGI. I don't know if you guys watched The Mandalorian or you watched the Boba Fett shows on Disney Plus. I won't spoil anything here, but there were some CGI scenes that looked really bad in The Mandalorian, and they were cool because it was like a nostalgic moment, but they still didn't look great. And then in the Book of Boba Fett, the new show, they had a similar scene, and it was like one of the most incredible CGI scenes I'd ever seen. And I looked into it. There was this guy on YouTube that was really adept at deepfake technology. So he would take pictures, movies, and recreate CGI based on the way those people looked in the past in films and pictures and stuff. And he was so good that there was a rumor that Industrial Light and Magic hired him. And turns out that's actually the case. And I don't know what this guy did for them, but there were some reprisals, some character reprisals in some of these shows. And the difference in quality was staggering. Like, it looked like a real person was there, even though it was completely CGI. Like, do you remember like when they showed like young scenes of Princess Leia and like the old Star Wars movies, and they kind of looked fake? It was like that, except it looked like her. It looked like the young version of her. It was incredible. I kept turning to my wife. I'm like, do you see how amazing this is? Like, this is this is the biggest leap in CGI investment that I have ever probably noticed in my lifetime, and it was all because this YouTuber was really adept at CGI using deepfake technology, which I don't know if you ever follow any like deepfake channels, but they use machine.
I was just
learning.
watching some today. Actually.
You were, yeah. I mean, it's actually really scary what they're able to do now, because they can create videos that look so real, but they're completely fake, and they'll have like politicians and like famous people saying things that they didn't actually ever say, and it's all just deep fake technology. Crazy. It's actually really, really spooky. But anyway,
yeah,
I think we should go.
That's the fact of using deep fake to recreate bring back old classics. I would love to see them redo Tron with that, because when I saw their updated CGI version of Flynn. Because I grew up, Tron was a childhood movie for me. That was a monumental movie when I was a kid. Yeah. I knew those characters well. And then you see Flynn's face, and he goes, "I love you too, son." And I went, "Oh God, no! Why?
I know.
Why did they have to do that?" It ruined the movie for me. And from that, every single time you'd see him on screen, I'd sit there going, "Oh man, really? It's so bad. It's just like cut and pasting a plastic face. It looked like he had too much plastic surgery or something like that." Deepfake is perfect. I was just you were talking about it. I was watching all the Bill Hader videos where he's doing impressions like Tom Cruise and Al Pacino.
I saw those.
That they blended in smoothly.
Yeah.
And I went, wow.
Yeah.
That's so convincing. Yeah.
I should send you some of this guy's videos, Adam, so you can check it out. As an artist, you might appreciate these, and just because I mean the artistry that has to go into this. Except he's using machine learning to rebuild these scenes using a computer generated face drawn from AI technology. It's like really it's really amazing, and I think this is going to be the future. And Disney Plus and ILM, I mean, they're going to be way ahead of everyone else now. I mean, they were already far ahead, but now they're able to recreate like the young faces of old actors and make them look like they're actually there acting. It's really incredible.